everyone, welcome back for week 6 of my quarantine diet series. My name is Stephanie. Thank you so much for joining me again for this week's update. Week 6 was all about getting back on track after spending a week away from my life. As much as I love traveling, I really do. I mean, I think there's a clear difference between like actual vacation and just going like to see your family. I mean, I don't know, the past like couple of years have been weird for me because it's like I'm always in school. I barely get 2.5 weeks off in between semesters. So every time that I've traveled somewhere, I've always had to like make sure that I'm keeping up with my homework and my just life, like just my life literally revolves around school. So like I haven't had like a physical break since I started school, which is it 2 years ago now? A year and a half ago? I don't even know at this point. I have to finish this semester, I have the fall semester, and then I have the spring 2021 semester left, and I'm done. I'm ready for it. I'm just like over it. I'm almost there, so it's technically 4 more classes. I just realized that. That's so funny. So anyway, it's just really hard traveling and trying to maintain your routine when that can be very challenging to do when you are not at your house. So was definitely ready to get back into my routine. I worked really hard during all of this to forge a new routine that was just conducive to my priorities and my overall like personal perception of success. And I was here for it. And so what we did, so after my diet break during week 5, I wanted to make another adjustment downwards in my calories to just continue the progress. It wasn't that I was seeing a plateau in my progress prior to my diet break, but I just didn't want to risk it. I was starting to see those negative biofeedback markers that we talked about last episode, and I didn't want to find myself in a plateau, you know, after completing that diet break, and I just was kind of nervous about losing that motivation that I have, right? Although I will be honest with you, it's getting to that point. Hashtag discipline versus motivation. I really feel like that is my theme at this point, my mantra, because it really hasn't been, as much as I'm very motivated, I'm very excited to see my progress continue, it's the discipline. It's just it's the relentless need and desire to maintain my routine to get to where I'm going. I have to say motivation really has been far and few between during all of this. And realistically, 6 weeks is not a tremendous amount of time, but I have covered a lot of ground, which is exciting, and that in itself is motivating. And I need to try and continue to be disciplined, which is, I feel like it's hard for me to not be disciplined about things, because when I'm not, like, so even though I know what I'm doing when I'm like going to eat out and whatever, like even if I wasn't diet breaking last week and I knew I needed to try and stay on track as best as I could, I know I would have been able to do it, but I wouldn't have felt as good about it if I wasn't like, you know, everything was cut and dry. And that's just the way that I am. You know, I think there's satisfaction about, you know, making sure I'm entering my food into my app so that I can see in front of me. I can actually visually see it, right? Those are, you know, tracking calories, you know, averaging weights, all of that, all those quantitative data points that we use to assess progress, for me, create a visual representation quantitatively of what's really happening. So it makes me feel better when I know that I was adherent as I possibly was. Mostly because I just want to get in and out of this diet phase. I don't like dieting. I just would rather feel a little bit freer when it comes to making my food choices. I personally really enjoy the hanging out at maintenance calories and just focusing on strength and building muscle, and I love having that body composition change right before my eyes, and without feeling the stresses of dieting. And when I do travel and I do enjoy a meal out, I just kind of don't want to have to sit there and look at a menu and say, okay, like, what do I need to do here in order to make sure that I'm maintaining, my macros. Well, hello, Holly. Thank you for joining us. Good girl. Oh, okay. Sure. Why didn't you just get up on that side? You're sitting here? This is okay. Oh, God. Okay. Very good. Okay. So I made an adjustment down in my calories, guys. I'm about 1,635 calories. Won't lie, it's kind of low for me. I really don't want to go any lower than this. If I do have to make an adjustment downward, which I'm not anticipating, and I'll tell you why, I will probably make the reduction in carbs. I think my fats are as low as I would want them to be, but my new macros are now 55 grams of fat, 160 grams of carbs, and 125 grams of protein for 1,635 calories. Definitely felt it the first couple of days on the new macros for sure, but that got easier. I'm definitely feeling re-energized after, kind of feeling dragged down after week 4. So I know the diet break worked, which is good. And, not really having too much trouble with adhering to these new macros. Again, I don't want to make another adjustment down. I don't want to go lower than this. Already running 3 to 4 times a week, trying to train 2 to 3 times a week. I do need to get back into that part of my routine because unfortunately I can't bring my gym equipment with me, and gyms aren't open in Connecticut yet. So wasn't able to train, but I was able to maintain, my running, and definitely felt good to kind of get back into that. So in terms of increasing my energy output, definitely have a few opportunities to there. I don't know that I want to add another day of running, to be honest, because I do feel some sort of an impact on my knees and my ankles a little bit. I try to do some mobility stuff that Q taught me in the beginning of all of this before I run. It definitely helps, but running 3, I could probably do like 2 consecutive days and then I need a break. Doing 3, I've done before, but I find that on my 3rd day, my time isn't as good as it was the first 2 days. So I know at that point I probably need a break. Also, because I have been focusing my weight training days around my larger compound lifts, like getting my squat strength back and my deadlift strength back, it can be challenging to run when your legs are sore from those days. So definitely not sure I want to increase to a 5th day of running. I just don't think that that's the direction that I want to go with it. If I am going to, I would probably increase the duration of my run. So I've just been keeping it to a mile. I'm not feeling confident enough to push it past a mile yet. I would like to get there eventually, but right now I am just kind of focusing on my conditioning during that 1 mile. At this point, I'm, not taking any breaks, but I am noticing still about 3/4 of the way through, I'm just kind of starting to feel like, okay, when is this going to be over? Like, I'm really pushing myself right now. So I'd like to just get myself to the point where I can just run that mile straight through without being like, oh my God, I need to stop. I'm almost there. My time has really increased. I'm really excited. I mean, I am in like the 8-minute range for completing the mile, which is amazing. I mean, I remember in high school or whenever we used to have to run the mile, I mean, I was doing like a 13-minute mile because I'd be like, I'm done running. I'm just going to walk this. So for me to have like some of the best times that I've ever had because I've never focused on running, I mean, I don't know, I'm proud of myself. It's awesome. I've only been doing this for a little over a month at this point. I mean, damn, I don't know, kind of exciting to reflect back on, I guess. So eventually I will be comfortable enough to add more time to or increase the distance of my mile, but I'm not ready to do that just yet. So in terms of my exercise activity, the only thing I can really see is by maybe adding another weight training day, which I'm just not sure I could commit to at this point. I really feel good at like the 2 to 3 times a week, especially because I'm confident in my training split now. I'm just being consistent with it, and due to my accessibility with the weight that I have, I'm able to kind of continue pushing my weights up or my volume up by increasing reps, whatever my focus is for that day. Just kind of really feeling myself starting to get back into that groove in terms of my training. So at the moment, energy output in regards to that is solid. I feel good about it. I can manage that very easily, and I don't want to overburden myself and create more stress around that, because then that's when you kind of start burning out and then you don't want to do it, and then eventually, you know, you might fall off. So don't want to add more stress to that. But fun fact, I will be returning to work exactly 3 months after we were forced to shut down back in March. So some people might call it NEAT, so non-exercise activity thermogenesis. They're generally involuntary movements. For me, working is probably a little bit more of intentional movement, but for me, I kind of just categorize it as NEAT because for work, I'm running all over the place, right? I mean, I'm doing a ton of, you know, little movements, you know, between shaking a shaker, you know, walking back and forth, whatever, you're constantly moving. So I do categorize that as my NEAT. I will be seeing that increase when I go back to work. So I have some hope that incorporating that back into my routine will actually kind of help carry me through the remainder of this diet, which I would like to conclude come the end of June, which is only a few short weeks away. I won't lie, I'm a little nervous about setting that bar. I'd like to lose, I feel like 3 to 5 more pounds than I am now. Just estimating. My clothes are already really starting to fit me really well again. I mean, shorts that did not fit me a month ago are now loose in my waist, which is really exciting. I haven't tried everything yet. I know that some of my smaller clothes are probably not going to fit just quite yet, and those are actually some of my cuter outfits, so I know I still have some progress to make. Definitely feeling a lot more like myself. I feel more confident. I feel way better in a bikini than I did last summer, and that is just a very big relief for me. I don't feel like I need to suck in or just feel self-conscious. I mean, I just feel like when I'm too heavy, the clothes just don't fit well, and it's sad. It makes you feel uncomfortable. I just want to be able to wear my clothing and feel confident and not have to stress about, oh, like, I don't know, have you ever put on an outfit or something and like you're like excited because you think it fits, and then like you end up leaving the house and then you realize like, oh, this is riding up weird, probably because I'm not ready to wear this yet. Like, that has happened to me so many times. Like, I'm just like over dealing with it. So I know I'm not quite there yet, but I know I'm very close. And I'm hoping that with my return to work that I will it'll hopefully get me through to the end of this diet come the end of June. I may even push it through July. I don't know. It really depends. It all depends. This is all up in the air. I take things on a week by week basis, and we'll see what happens. But as of right now, the goal is to be done with this diet at the end of June. That will officially make this, we're on week 6, 10-week diet. I mean, that's not bad at all. I guess that's awesome. So yeah, just hoping to be where I want to be at the end of this month so that I can start the reverse diet process. And then we can talk about that in our next YouTube series, because that's going to be my next one. Except I don't think I can call it a quarantine reverse diet series, because let's be honest, I think that's over. It's very, very clear that everyone is just very much over with all of this crap. I know I am. Oh, let's see. Yeah, over it. I'm kind of over it. And I'll be ready to end this come the end of June and reverse diet. That was one of my notes for this episode today. Oh, something I didn't talk about yet, just briefly. I have not returned to the gym yet. Our gyms here in Vermont opened on June 1st, and I have not gone back yet, mostly because I've been crazy busy with travel and all of that, and just trying to make sure that I'm staying afloat with my schoolwork. And honestly, I just really enjoy working out outside. I think, so usually I am a very tan person, and come like the end of winter, I tend to do a couple of like fake bake tanning salon sessions, because at that point I feel like I need the vitamin D and I need just the sun and the warmth. So I will go to a tanning salon, I'll get like a month, and I'll go like once or twice a week, if that, and just to get like a little color. And because all the tanning salons closed, I was like probably the palest I've ever been in my life. I was like, people aren't even going to believe that I'm Italian because I'm so pale. I was like pasty white. Oh, it was horrible. So like being able to be outside and work out, like, I don't know, you get like a tan while you're training and you don't even really have to work for it, I guess, you know? I don't know. Sometimes I feel like if you like have to lay there, you know, in the sun, you're tanning, you're like tan. Like when you're working out, like you just kind of don't realize that it's automatically happening. I don't know. So I'm not ready to go back yet, mostly because I'm ready. I like really enjoy working out outside. I think when it's like raining and I want to get my weight training session in, that I probably will. It's not that I'm afraid to go back. I just am really enjoying being able to manage all of the stuff here at home, which is awesome. So yeah, haven't done that yet. And I don't know. I think that that pretty much wraps it up for week 6. Pretty, you know, uneventful week, to be honest. Just got back on track, ready to keep going into week 7, and we'll see what happens after I return to work. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, comment, subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate it, and all of your support. I will catch you guys for week 7. Have an awesome one. Talk to you guys soon.